Middlesbrough with one hand on it as it stands. But half-time in the tie, and Brentford still with plenty to say. Tell you what though, Don, as these Middlesbrough players make their way out here, none of them will ever have played in this ground, in this sort of atmosphere.
Well, it's quite remarkable. I can't remember an atmosphere here quite like this. I'm sure it must... You'll have to go back to the halcyon days of Europa League success and heady days in the Premier League, but they will be hoping to drive their team over the finishing line and create a similar atmosphere at Wembley, but it's not a foregone conclusion.
Well, as with the first leg, Aitor Karanka's main decision ahead of this one has been whether a week of no training for Patrick Bamford leaves him able to start here. The answer is no, so Kike replaces him, and that's the only change from last Friday. Elsewhere, Middlesbrough stick to that winning formula. Dean Whitehead starts his first game here at the Riverside in 6 months as part of a defence that's only conceded 2 goals in the last 7 games here. Brentford reload and go again with the same side for the 5th game in a row. Andre Gray's 18th goal of the season means it's now 2-2 for him. He knows he needs to take his chances tonight. Alex Pritchard returns to his parent club Tottenham at the end of the season as one of the Championship's standout players. And Harley Dean might just expect a lively reception here from the home fans after his comments about Middlesbrough's style in the build-up to this one. Fernando Amorebieta, the unlikely first leg hero among the Middlesbrough substitutes, along with Patrick Bamford. Chris Long, he's a 20-year-old striker on loan from Everton. He missed the first leg, but included tonight on the Brentford bench. Middlesbrough in the best position to get to the Premier League since they left it back in 2009. Brentford, well, generations of their fans have come and gone without seeing them play in the top division. Tremendous stage, ready for the action, and we'll be back with it in just a couple of moments. Clayton. Middlesbrough on top here. Just about the halfway point through this first half. Adoma. Teed up. And in! Lee Tomlin sets Middlesbrough right on track with a super strike. Halfway through this first half, they take a 2-goal aggregate lead.
Well, we felt the first goal might be key here this evening, and it's deservedly gone to Middlesbrough. Again, Ledbetter spreads the ball out to Adoma. He drives inside, he keeps coming inside, but this time, instead of crossing it, he picks out Lee Tomlin, who isn't closed down. Too much space, and he just picks his spot, bends it beautifully into that corner. It's Harley Dean, may even take a slight deflection, and it finds the back of the net, and that gives Middlesbrough a huge advantage.
Well, there was a giant mosaic in one of the stands here just before kick-off that said believe. And he will certainly start to now. PK. Tomlin now. Vossen. Yeli Vossen. Back comes Bidwell. Vossen hasn't finished yet. Kike! And that surely equals Wembley for Middlesbrough. Celebrations at the Riverside, the likes of which have not been seen for many a year.
Brentford second best, master their own downfall really. They gave the ball away on halfway and Middlesbrough sprung. Great ball in for Vossen. Defenders get back, they think the chance is gone, but it breaks kindly for Kike. And does he panic? He certainly does not. He knows exactly what he needs to do. A couple of little touches to take the ball away from Harley Dean, and then a composed finish past the despairing dive of David Button, and that brings a big celebration around the Riverside, in the stands, on the touchline, on the pitch. They're all but there.
It's a yellow card he will gladly take, one he'll savour. Joe Harley-Dean's coming forward in the right wing position. Clayton taken on by Terral. Clayton. Vossen, Tomlin. Back to Vossen. Adoma now, Tomlin, Adoma! Filling their boots now on the way to Wembley, Middlesbrough. Albert Adoma extends their supremacy.
Well, if you thought Middlesbrough were just a team that could strangle a game, then have a look at this, because they have their cake now. They have the icing and the cherry on the top of it. Keeps himself onside, and then you wonder, will they play it right? They've got bodies streaming forward. It's Tomlin and Vossen, and you think, is the chance gone? But they're aware enough of each other, and it's lovely one-touch football. Great 1-2. Adoma, again, calmness, composure, and they have been absolutely ruthless, haven't they? It's a wonderful goal, and it's a fitting way to send your team to Wembley for a championship playoff final.
All those years of pain and frustration after slipping out of the Premier League. And all these scenes of unbridled joy and celebration. This is a special night at the Riverside, make no mistake about that. Pritchard, Douglas has continued his run. But the thou shalt not pass signs are still up from Middlesbrough.
Aitor Karanka's waving, he wants Constantopoulos to kick the ball out so they can get Jonathan Woodgate on. Does he understand? He does. Here you go.
Well, listen to this ovation. The Middlesbrough-born Middlesbrough fan comes on to replace Captain Fantastic.
Well, listen to that ovation. Don't need anybody to tell you what they think of Grant Leadbitter and the man that's coming on to replace him.
He can't resist a big smile, Jonathan Woodgate. Trying to find a poker face, but it's not the time for that now, is it?
Absolutely not.
Judge. He's biting his nails. Don't think there's any reason for that.
We'll wait while we get into Wembley then.
A magical night for Middlesbrough. Masterminded by Aitor Karanka, who for the first time in Middlesbrough's history guides them to a playoff final. They have never contested one at Wembley before. They will be there to take on the winner of the East Anglian derby. It's been a performance of poise, of power, of penetration as they've blasted in the goals, and quite frankly, of rare dominance. Brentford haven't been allowed to have a sniff really since the off in the first leg. And emphatically, and with spectacular scenes here as the supporters, as is customary in these playoffs now, tear onto the pitch. There's been no doubt that Middlesbrough are the deserved winners here, Don.
Absolutely no doubt whatsoever. It has been a ruthless, exceptional performance, tactically perfect, full of discipline and desire and lots of quality. The flip side is you feel for Brentford, don't you? Regardless of tonight, it's been a magnificent season for them. and you wish them well, because the playoffs are a heartbreaking way for a season to come to an end. But tonight it's all about Middlesbrough. It's all about preparing for another massive game in this club's history. And I'll tell you what, whoever they end up playing, Norwich or Ipswich, we're going to know from this evening's performance, they are going to be tested if they want to get in the Premier League.
Well, it takes aside a squad of spirit and character to deliver when the stakes are high like this. It can, of course, be an advantage playing the second leg at home, but it can also weigh heavy on shoulders, and at no time tonight did it look like that was going to be the case. Lee Tomlin set them on their way. Kike made sure, and a crowning glory from Adoma. Brentford, who haven't scored a goal on this ground for nearly 80 years, well, that wait will go on. Whether they get a chance to again next season, well, that will depend what happens at Wembley Stadium on Monday week. But for the first time in 25 years, Middlesbrough qualify for a final. For the first time ever, they will play in a Wembley playoff final. They're back there for the first time since Brian Robson guided them to those 2 defeats back in the late 90s, as they were relegated out of the Premier League that season as well. It's a special night for everyone involved with Middlesbrough Football Club, and we can get a bit of reaction and join David Craig.